Hello everyone, Dibz here and welcome to Overwatch Overseer, a series where we all come together and try to analyze a game submitted by you, the viewers, and help each other get to the next rank. We're going to be talking about what went correctly this game as well as what went wrong. It's always good to look at your own mistakes as much as possible and try to figure out what can be corrected to help everybody improve. So today we're going to be taking a look at someone named Ninjaman, who is currently in Platinum on the map King's Row. Now, before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about Pursuit. Pursuit is an analytics engine that keeps track of everything that happens in Overwatch. It tracks all of your matches and every single thing that you would want to know to improve, provides knowledge to what you have been doing in all of your games, and what needs to be done to climb to your next goal. It not only tracks your stats, but also those who were in your game, including your teammates and enemies. Things like the first picks, target priority, and kill contribution help you assess your strengths and weaknesses and get clarity on how to improve. In the future, if you are to submit a game for me to review, I want to kindly ask you guys to use Pursuit, as it will help me provide the statistics of the game to help us all better understand what happened in the game altogether. It's currently free to download for my subscribers in the description below, and all you have to do is just have it open in the background while playing Overwatch. It's super easy to use and barely has any impact on your FPS. Thanks in advance, guys. But anyway, let's get to the game on King's Row. Alright, so it looks like Ninjaman is going to be starting off King's Row defense with a little bit of Junkrat. Now, Junkrat is actually really strong on King's Row because the Goats comp is very popular on attack. Now, Goats is basically the go-to comp when it comes to using Brigade. Brigade comps are really close ranged. They like to basically just have the team run into the enemy and just basically just bash everything to bits. It's basically Lucio, Brig, Ryan, Zarya, Diva, and Moira. It's a lot of healing done, a lot of speed, and just a lot of damage output, and really tanky. Now, for this type of tanky comp, Junkrat is really good, Pharah is really good, and basically a lot of spam is something that you want to be doing. So that's kind of why I understand why Ninjaman wanted to play Junkrat. It's very popular. I usually play a little bit of Junkrat on defense here, and I don't play Hanzo, but there's a lot of Hanzo players that get a lot of value when it comes to playing on defense. So anyways, let's get down to it, and yeah, let's see how it goes. So we're starting off on defense. I'm getting a lot of good spam at the very start. I'm a really cheeky Junkrat trap right there next to the bus. Now, this is really smart because what happens is that whenever people kind of get stuck at the entrance, a lot of the times they back up a little bit. They kind of get stuck in the area, and when they back up, they get into the trap. And if the trap is there, well, they're gonna get, they're gonna take a lot of damage and they're gonna get stuck, and you can just keep spamming over and over again. It's a very cheeky spot. I like to use a lot, but it depends. Sometimes people don't back up, people just run straight through a lot of the times. But if they do, it's really good for you to kind of replace your trap whenever you can. But it looks like they have a Zarya and a Reinhardt. First of all, you just died, of course, but then we don't really see you pushing tab a lot. One thing that I want to see you do a little bit more is press tab. Because the thing is, you don't know exactly what the enemy team is running. Because right now it's at 3:45, right? At 3 minutes and 45 seconds, you can push tab. It takes 15 seconds for you to see before the profiles pop up and show you exactly what the enemy team is running. If you press tab and you see what they get, or what they have, you can be like, okay, they have this, they have this, they have this, they have this. They have a Widowmaker, they have double sniper, or they have Goats comp, or they're running dive, whatever. This allows your team to kind of get prepared for what, to get prepared for what's coming up, and they can like position themselves correctly and not get dove on, or kind of like think about what to do next. So yeah, press tab a little bit more often. Basically, 15 seconds right after the start of the match tells you exactly what the enemy team is running, so you can figure out what to do next. But you ended up getting picked off right here because of the Rein shield. The Rein shield was facing towards the left. I think he was trying to engage and try to push a little bit closer to the team. He didn't communicate it as well, but you could also be standing a little bit behind the shield if you can. Pay a little bit more attention to where the shield is going without you getting picked. And it's kind of frustrating when it happens, especially when they don't communicate it, because he went to the left and now all of a sudden he's going towards the back onto the right. Normally, you would want to try to back up towards that way. Typically, right off the bat, you don't want to go towards the front unless you guys are running a close ranged comp, which you guys don't really have. So it's kind of like both of you guys should have communicated as to what the plan was going to be. But typically, yeah, just back up towards the tunnel whenever you guys can. Unfortunate, but you did get a revive, so it's good for you guys to just back up a little bit, go back to the tunnels, kind of regroup, make sure you guys are all together. It looks like you're Your Brig was a little bit far up, and you guys need to be a little bit more cohesive when it comes to playing Brig. Brig is somebody who is really, really good as a group. If somebody is alone, either everybody has to go and help support her, or she has to back up. So try to talk about what kind of comp you guys are going to be running, and whether or not it's the best for everybody to be playing, you know, the kind of Brig comp together as a team. Now I see that you're backing up into hotel, and now that's not really a good idea, especially if you don't have any tanks. It's really dangerous for you to do so because you don't have anybody to hold your position. Especially when you go to hotel, it's easy for you to get flanked from those who are coming from their spawn, and they're basically going to be able to split you off from those who are going to tunnel, and you're going to be alone. So every time you try to back up from King's Row, what you want to do is you just want to back up together as a team towards tunnel. It allows you guys to kind of group up together and push again as soon as possible. Not only that, I think you should be using your steel trap a little bit more often. I didn't see you throw it down when it was all the way back here. So as you can see right here, when you died and you got rezzed, your trap is still back there, right? Your trap is still here. Your trap is still at the bus. Now the thing is, if they push past that point, most likely than not, they're not going to push back. You know what I mean? So they're not, this trap is going to be completely useless after they push through. So what you should be doing is that you should always be thinking in your mind, is that steel trap going to be able to get somebody? If not, reposition your trap, just throw it down in front of you to kind of slow them down. And then it may have actually done a lot. It might have stopped like one of the tanks pushing through, and you guys might have been able to recontest a little bit. Like right here, it would have been a perfect time for you to use it. Right when they were pushing up and your Brig got picked off, they're going to try to advance on you. Drop a trap right there, slow them down, make them go a different direction. If they get trapped, you can kind of do damage and allow you to escape and provide a little bit more space for you. But yeah, drop your steel trap a little bit more, spam it as much as you can if the previous one is going to be used, and try to back up a little bit towards this tunnel right here where your Warhawk is going. Group up together as a team, stick together a little bit more, especially with the Brig. And she's really, really good with teams that are like clumped up together, especially when she does healing, does AoE healing, and she provides support for everybody else on the team. But it looks like you guys lost the first point pretty quickly. It's unfortunate. They did have a Hanzo. They didn't really have that much. They had a pretty big spam comp. Lucio or what was it? Hanzo does do a lot of damage. And yeah, but that's a decent trap. I mean, at least you use the trap there. Allows them to kind of like not be able to push through as much as possible. But then you kind of know when they're coming through, right? Which is good. Okay, staying high ground. Not a bad position. Okay, you got a nice trap on the Zarya. Alright, good pick, good pick, good pick. It's actually really big because it's basic. King's Row is a really strong mech for Zarya. Right, she can get charged easily. If you can get rid of her, then it stops like the Hanzo Zarya grabs 24/7. Okay, so right there, I understand why you jumped off, because you wanted to basically lay a trap as well as regroup with your team. But instead of doing so, what I would do is I would lay a trap from this location. Just drop a trap right there. Just drop a trap right there on the high ground. And then once that happens, what you can do is back up towards this way, towards the tunnel, high ground. Because what that does is that there's like a wall, there's a window, right? If there's a window, there's some space for you to not be seen. Because if you jump down straight this way, and what happens if they peek all of a sudden? If everybody on the enemy team starts peeking right when you jump down, you're gonna get picked off, because the shield is right here. The shield is right here, and you are here. You have this entire gap to get shot, and that's actually really dangerous. So what you can do is drop a trap here, go towards the back, go towards the window, use that line of sight, and then drop down to the team. You can even go all the way towards the back, just to be a little bit safer, especially when the enemy team is being a little bit aggressive. So try to use a little bit more cover as much as possible when you need to, because like right here, right there, you could have just definitely got picked off if there was like if there was spam coming up. So try to be careful on your positioning a little bit, use cover as much as possible, and yeah, you'll be a little bit more safe. So that's pretty good. Good tire on the Rhine. Get their front shield down so you can spam as much as possible. But instead of just throwing the tire right in front of you, what I like to do is use the tire, and you can climb a lot of things. You can either climb this way. This is probably the best way to climb all the way up towards this wall. What happens if you climb towards this wall is that you can go on top of the roof, and you can just come from above. If you come from above, you can see where the enemy team is. You can see where everybody's grouped together, and try to get a bigger triple kill, double kill, instead of just going for the Reinhardt. If your goal was just to go for the Reinhardt, you could have just gone towards the front, but a lot of spam likes to come towards the front. If there's a lot of spam going towards your Rhine, your shield, a lot of the times your tire is going to get shot on the way. So you want to kind of avoid the front line whenever using tire. Try to flank with it, go high ground. You can even go towards this tunnel here and go on to the backside and go over this roof if you want. But try to use as much, try to climb the roof as much as possible with the tire. You've seen tires go crazy all over the time, right? They go blah, 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 really hard to shoot, dodge everywhere, and they just go high ground. If you just go straight down the middle, it's easy to get shot, and most of the time it'll get taken out that way. So try to make it a little bit more easy, or a little harder for you, for your tire to get shot. Okay, looks like your team is holding up the front line pretty well. They don't have a shield, so the Zarya has no self bubble as well.
How was I in front of the shield?
It was good for your team to kind of push up a little bit, but then I would keep in mind just a little bit. That was just kind of a mechanical skill effect, mechanical flaw right there. Right there. You can see it right there. I don't know why I won't stop there, but you peeked out just a teeny bit, just literally one frame you peeked out, and that ended up killing you.
How was I in front of the shield?
Yeah, that's what happens when you get spammed by Hanzo. Right at that very split second, you poked at the wrong time, and the Hanzo ended up getting a kill on you. But it's all good. I'm just trying not to spam in front of the shield. Try to stay behind the shield as much as possible. You can just spam around corners. You can use the angles on your grenades and just kind of bounce them off of walls, and that helps you stay safe, especially against another DPS, especially when it comes to a Hanzo, another sniper. It's really dangerous to peek out as a Junkrat. But it looks like you swapped the Genji because they have, what, double sniper? I think they had double sniper, right? Yeah, they have double sniper. They have Widow as well as Genji. So that's actually a really good swap by you. Genji does really well against double sniper. You can get high ground, deal with them really well, stop them from flanking, and nice kill. Pretty clean triple headshot as well as a dash. Nice. So your team should be pushing up a little bit. They're down. Oh, actually, you guys are down on Orisa. So you guys have no shield. Orisa was alone, unfortunately. So you have two shields. You have two shields. I feel like a Zarya would have been really good for you guys to have. You guys don't have a Zarya. But Rein Zarya is a super good pick on this map, especially when the Zarya can get a lot of charge with your aggressive Rein. But I like the fact that you are going after the front line a little bit because of the fact that they're not getting any support from their team. Getting a nice pick on the Rein, so then you get a free shatter. Didn't get anybody though. But I want to see you use a little bit more high ground here. I see that you're getting rid of the Rein here, which is good. That means their front line is super weak. But at this moment, when the enemy team is... Well, actually, you can even just dive in the front and just try to get on the Zarya right away. Because right now, she's alone. You have a Brig aggressing on her. You can try to either dive in on her, or you can just go to this high ground right here, use this window, and try to damage the backline just a little bit. Right, you can see the window right there, and then you can have a better view of what's going on and what you can do. And especially when there's a Brig there. If there's a Brig on the enemy team, you don't want to be poking around the corners if you don't know exactly where she is. She can basically, she won't kill you like she would kill Tracer instantly. Yeah. You still don't want to be in front of her face when that happens, because she can stun you and somebody else can just follow up with the damage, right? Staying behind the shield. Good. Once they get to about this point though, I think it's really good for you. Once they get about right here, what you can do is, I would say, just try to go onto the high ground and use the window as much as possible. It's very good position for you. Allows you to dive in on the background whenever you see. Okay, you have your blade coming up. You don't really have a good combo to use it with. You don't have a grav or a nano, which is kind of unfortunate, but we'll see what you can do with it. Alright, the Lucio's down. That means they're not going to have beat. That's actually really big for you. If they don't have beat, that means they won't be able to react to your blade in time. They have no defensive ults. They do have a Brig though. The Brig can stop you right in your tracks when you use your blade. So the main thing you really have to stop, or the only thing you really have to watch out for now is the Brig whenever you blade, because then Lucio's out of the fight. But let's see if you actually end up using it at this point. Alright, so then you guys basically don't have... You guys are pretty much even when it comes to the spam comp on the shield, because you guys have a Hanzo, they have a Hanzo, they have a Widow, and you have a Genji. So it just depends on who spams more as Hanzo to whoever comes to who wins the shield fight. So right there, you're a little bit close to the Brig. Just a teeny bit close. So you see a Rein popping out the right side, and then you see a Brig right there. So when you see a Brig this close, what you should be doing is having alarms go in the back of your head and just back up. Just back up. Because right here, I think she gets close enough to actually hit you right here. Right there. At this range, she can just shield bash you. She can shield bash you, and then she would melee, and then she could actually have one of her teammates follow up with the damage, and you would just get gimped right away, and you would just die. Super dangerous to be this close to the Brigitte. So try to back up a little right there too, as well, right there as well. Whenever you when you deflected right here, she is literally right on top of you. This is a super dangerous move. I think what you were trying to do was trying to block a grab. You're trying to block a grab at this point. I understand what happened, but right here you would have just gotten gimped if the Brig was actually able to react to you. So don't get that close. Don't try to get into their front line, especially with the Brig there. The same goes for Tracer. The same goes for Tracer. Even more so for Tracer actually, because then she will die in one shot no matter what. All right, nice. You're going for the high ground blade. Nice, nice. Got the Hanzo, but that's about it, unfortunately. There's a few things that you want to be keeping track of whenever you use your blade. The positioning of the enemy team is what you want to keep track of the most. So I see when you pop your blade right here, you see right here, right? There is a Lucio, a Moira, and the Hanzo. So I see that you're going straight for the Hanzo, right? The first thing you want to do is right after you kill the Hanzo, remember where everybody else is. So the Lucio's there, and the Moira is there. Once you use your blade, most likely than not, the Moira's going to go this way, and the Lucio's going to go this way. You try to predict where the enemy is going to go instead of just dashing backwards and going, you know, trying to guess where they are. Because you went back straight onto the point, and the support weren't even there. So try to look around a little bit more if you don't have a correct estimation on where they're going to be, and don't be so quick on just dashing back into the point. Right, so right there, you can also see where everybody else is. You can see the Moira right there, right? The Moira and Lucio are both on towards the right. So instead of just tunnel visioning and just going straight back to the point, you can just take a step back after you get a kill. Remember where everybody was, and then try to track where the enemy healers are. Go for the healers first. Don't go for the tanks whenever you can, because the thing is, Zarya Bubble is able to protect those who are in the front line, the tank, as well in the back line. But you want to make sure, obviously, when to get the Zarya, to have the Zarya use her bubbles first before using your blade whenever you can. But yeah, you see the support on towards the right, and try to go for them first. You had a split second for you to kind of like check on where everybody else was. You might have been able to kill the support instead of just going straight for the tanks. Tanks are definitely not the best idea to go for, especially whenever you blade. They're really, really tanky. They can take a lot of hits, unless they're very low. If they're very low, then okay, go for it. But it looks like everybody on the team was kind of full health, or at least the tanks were full health. So try to go for the backline a little bit more when you use your blade. Try to keep track of them a little bit more. Try to estimate where they are. And if you don't know where they are, just look around and just kind of like visualize where everybody is instead of just like dashing blindly and back onto the point. Because a lot of times when you use your blade, you're like, okay, I gotta use as much swings as possible, so I'm just going to dash to the next target, whatever it is, right? So it's okay for you to kind of just like delay it just a little bit. Get more value out of it by killing the weaker targets, or the less HP targets, I would say. Okay, so your main Reinhardt, your Reinhardt is down. You do have your Orisa ultimate up, but it looks like your team is just getting staggered here. Alright, nice, nice. Well, actually, it looks like he might be able to finish this off. He's in high ground, trying to get advantage over the enemy team because they're focused on the point, which is really good. Popping another blade. I like the fan that you used after your blade, which is really good. And yeah, right there again. You ended up just like dashing straight backwards without even really... without seeing where the enemy actually was. And I think that's kind of what you have as a problem when it comes to Genji blade. Be a little bit more patient with your blade. So I see that you pop your blade right here, and you're going straight for the Moira, right? Which is good. But once you kill the Moira, you end up wasting a dash at the ground at nothing. So kill the Moira, or when you finish the target, look around first. Even if it takes 1 second, right? You get faster in the long run. And once you kill a target, you'll be able to lock onto the next target and decide whether or not that target is good for you to dash into the more that you play Genji. It's always really, really good for you to just dash to a target that you can actually kill instead of dashing to nothing or dashing to a tank, which is unkillable with your blade. So try doing that a little bit more often. Be a little bit more mindful of where you're going to be dashing to next. So I say that you kill this Moira right here. That's good. And then you dash at nothing. So let me explain what you can do right here. So dash, and instead of dashing right away, when you turn around, just check out to see who is there. Right, because that dash that you used, instead of hitting the ground, you definitely could have just dashed towards the Hanzo, and then you took him out of the fight, and you could have taken him out of the fight. Right, so be a little bit more patient. Be more patient. Don't try to just be like... I know a lot of top 500 players, whenever they use their blade, they dash, they kill somebody, and they instantly dash towards the next target, and they instantly dash to the next target, but that's because they have a shit ton of time on Genji, and they're top 500, but everybody has to take slow steps to get to that moment, or to get to that, you know, and just practice being a little bit more patient, being more mindful of where your dashes go, and I think your blades are going to get better in the long run. One thing that you could do is to swap off to Tracer or swap off to another stall hero. It'll allow you guys to contest this a little bit more. But it looks like your team is actually stabilizing right here. Yeah, actually it looks like your team is stabilizing here, which is good. Okay, so they pop Shatter. They're not going to have that as a combo for the next fight. And they do have a Zarya ult still. Or they're going to be getting really, really close to it. I don't think they used it yet. Not that I knew of. Okay, looks like they're stalling over and over and over again. But you guys are holding it. You guys are doing really well. Going for the weak targets in the back. Good job. Getting that solo kill on the Hanzo insta-gib. That's really, really nice. But yeah, I'm assuming they're going to have Zarya grab very, very soon. They haven't used it in a while. She's been getting also a lot of charges. She's being kept up by the enemy Brig. Quite a bit. Okay, yeah, no point for you to blade here because there's 2 tanks here. And it looks like you're going for the more in the background. I think your blade is going to be incoming soon, I think. Seems like it. Oof, okay, that's very dangerous. I saw that you were looking at the Moira, which is good. Really good for you to use your blade in the backline because those are the targets that are really, really needed to, you know, to kill because of the blade. Does a lot better against weaker targets or squishy targets. But before blading, you see the Zarya right here. There's a Zarya and there's a Hanzo and there is a Moira there. When the Zarya is coming back from spawn, there is absolutely no reason for her to be using a bubble on the way here, right? She's on the way from spawn, your teammates aren't there, they're all on the point. So 100% of the fact, unless the Zarya wasted it for some reason, she is going to have a friendly bubble. There's like something that you want to be doing in the back of your mind whenever you're blading before Genji is like a checklist. If they have a Brig on their team, is the Brig nearby? Does she have her shield bash? If the McCree is nearby, does he have flash? If the Ana is nearby, does she have sleep? If the Zarya is near, does she have bubble? That's one of the things that you want to be keeping at the back of your mind. Now, if Zarya is here, she has her bubble. For sure, she is going to bubble whoever you blade, right? And if she bubbles whoever you blade, it can take 2 of your slices. And that's basically about like 30% of the amount of blades that you can do. And not only that, allows them to escape and allows you to get hit and probably die on the way whenever you're trying to kill the person that's bubbled. So make sure if you see a Zarya next to somebody in the backline, wait until she uses her bubble first and then use your blade afterwards, or else you're just gonna get screwed over. So there's the bubble on the Hanzo, ends up taking one of your slices, but basically a zero value blade.
Dude, we need to get those guys off point.
Just try to make sure you have that checklist in the back of your mind. McCree, Ana, does Pharah even have Boop? Does Lucio have Beat? Does Zen have Trans? Does Zarya have Bubble? There's a lot of things that you have to keep track of whenever you're playing Genji when you blade. That's why Genji is one of the hardest heroes to play, because when you use ultimate, you gotta make sure boom, 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 boom. Yes, 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 yes. If any of them has any of those cooldowns, you gotta make sure how to reposition yourself or whether or not the fight is even worth it for you to use your blade on. But that's why it's tough. I even play Genji a little bit, and it's like sometimes I miss that one little thing. Like, oh crap, this Genji had or this McCree had flash, and I didn't keep track of it, and I end up just dying after getting flash. Do my blade. So it happens, but just takes a little practice. Try to remember that, and I think your blades will get a little bit better in the long run. But let's see who you're gonna be playing. Looks like you're gonna be playing a McCree on attack. Not a bad idea, but I feel like Widow and Hanzo is actually a pretty good pick here, but I think he played a little bit of McCree, so let's give it a shot and see how it goes. We got Prestimo on Genji, who's going to be doing the flanking, probably against the enemy Widow / Hanzo that they had last round. We'll see how he does. Alright, so you're on attack. Let's see how this goes. Playing McCree with a Genji. You got a Roadhog as well as a Rein. It's kind of a weird comp. Most of the time it's Rein Zarya. Rein Zarya is really strong, especially for this reason. It's like it's pretty nutty on what Brig can do. Brig can literally just stun a Rein, and it can stun a Rein through his shield. And then what happens is that when her shield is down, basically everybody just bursts him down. So what happens if you have a Rein Zarya is that the Zarya can predict when the bash is going to come in, protect your Rein from the bash so his shield doesn't go down. Or what she can do is also when the Rein gets bashed and his shield is down, the Zarya can bubble the Rein and she can get a lot of charge and because a lot of damage is going to go onto the Rein. So I would try to run a little bit more Rein Zarya instead of Hog Hog is not a good pick with Rein as much, I feel like. Rein Zarya is very strong in this meta, especially because of Brig. Because look at the enemy team. Enemy team is running Rein Zarya and also Brig at the same time. So they're going to have a huge advantage on the team, the front line. There's not much that you guys can do to stop the bash. There's nothing you can actually do to stop it. So your Rein is going to get bullied. Your Rein is going to get bullied this entire game if you guys don't have Zarya, which is... Well, we'll see how this goes. We'll see how far you guys can get. But looks like you guys are going towards the right side. Nice flash. Nice flash and headshot on the Lucio. Really, really good. Use the Phantom Hammer to kind of get the shield down as fast as possible. Your main tank is down, taking a lot of damage, but you're backing up towards here, which is kind of okay. So the only reason why I would back up towards this way is if I know for sure that my team is pushing up and that we're going to be able to keep this area safe, or if I'm going to the high ground to get a sneaky high noon. Right, because if you go to the high ground right now, get a sneaky high noon from behind, the enemy team has to literally turn around, look towards you, and when that happens, your team can push up and just basically win the frontline fight. So we'll see what happens here. But this is actually a very risky situation if you don't do any of those. Because what can happen is they see you right now, they can literally just walk into you and just like kill you. You're separated from your team, you have no tanks, you don't have any support, and here comes the, you got a kill. You got a kill on the Lucio, but you ended up still dying. It's still a 5v5. It's still a 5v5, which is kind of in your advantage because you have spawn. But the Lucio can get back super quickly. So I wouldn't say that was really, really worth it for you. Not that much worth it. Okay, Grav Dragon. You guys don't have any defensive ults against that. Gotta back it up. Once again, you guys have a Moira as well as an Ana. If you see the enemy team running Zarya Hanzo, you probably want to have a trans for that. A Zen for that. A Zen trans with the Ana grenade will definitely out-heal the Hanzo Graph. So I feel like you guys need to be a little bit more flexible and try to make a little bit more swaps here. Because Hog, Reinhardt is definitely not going to be working here. It's not working well at all at the moment. Hold on. Let me see the communication on your team.
What are we doing? Going right again? What are you guys gonna do?
I know Cozy is not the person that's talking, because Cozy is the she. It's Brenda.
I can't peek because you're shielding up.
And that's you. Okay.
What you want to do?
So that's the main tank talking, I think. King Oblivion is the main tank talking, saying, what do you guys want to do? In my personal opinion, the main tank should be the one making the calls. The main tank should be the person, okay, we're gonna go right, we're gonna go left, we're gonna go front, we're gonna go high ground, whatever, you know. The main tank is the one who is in control of the shield, so he should be the one to kind of be like, okay, we're gonna go this way, because if he talks and he goes a specific way as the shield, people know where to go. And if people know where to go and the person is going the same way, you guys are going to stay cohesive as a team. Because let's say you have, let's say you are the shot caller, and you're like, the Rein is on the left side right now, and you as a person want the team to go towards the right. Like, everybody go right. Okay, so everybody goes right, but then let's say the Reinhardt isn't listening and he stays to the left. What's going to happen is that he's just going to chill there. The rest of your team is going to go towards the right, and you guys are going to be split. So this is why the main tank is usually the person to do the shot calling. He is the one to do the one. He is the one that usually says, okay, everybody go this way. Everybody go this way. La 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 la. Follow me, follow me, follow me. It's kind of weird to have a main tank ask where you guys want to go, because it usually doesn't end up well. But if anybody, it's better for somebody to at least be the voice of the entire group. If nobody knows where to go, don't be afraid to be the voice. Okay, you'd be like, okay, everybody go right. I want the main tank to go this way. Everybody push high ground. Everybody do this. Everybody do that. At least, if nobody's the voice, be the voice if you can. But right now, you guys have ults. You guys have ults. One thing that you can do is actually push the high ground. Since nobody knew what to do, what I would say as a McCree, he's asking you what you want to do. Go high ground. Go towards the back. Go up the stairs. Use this high ground right here. And then use this high ground right here. And high noon from there. Right? Because there's a tree. There's a tree like right here. I remember there being a tree. What you can do is you can use that tree to high noon. People won't be able to see you. And also you have high ground advantage. So if you have high ground advantage, it's really good. You have a shield. Not only that, you can't get shield bashed. You can't get slept. Nothing can happen to you because you have this wall behind you and nobody can really flank you. right? So it's a very, very good strat for you guys to go high ground if you're getting stuck here. Because what happens when you guys come towards this close range, right? What happened last time was that the Brig just came up with the Zarya and just bashed everybody, and you guys got stunned. So just go use the high ground whenever you guys can, especially as McCree. High noon from high ground, make them get off the point, and once they get off the point, jump onto the point, contest it, and then take it. And also, you won't be able to get spammed as much with the Hanzo, because this is a small, little, tiny area where a lot of spam is going to go through. And you guys are just going to get demolished if that happens.
Go right, I ult.
Okay, so you are making an effort to...
Make sure it's healthy when we get up to that right
You're making an effort to basically say where to go and what to do, which is good. It's good. It's better than everybody asking what to do. Oh, I don't know what to do. You know, be the voice. It doesn't matter if it's a good play or a bad play. It is a play. As long as it is a play and you guys are doing something together as a team, it's better than not doing anything at all and just walking around with your head cut off, you know.
Oh my god.
Okay. Oh, so that's unfortunate. That's exactly what I was talking about. Exactly what I was talking about. It was a good play for you to do. You basically had the same idea. Use the shield, use high noon, basically get people off the point. But the Brig literally just walked up past you and just shield dashed you. I don't know if your rank could have done anything. He might have been able to charge the Brig towards the right. But if he did that, you would have no shield. Your shield would be down, and you would probably get picked off by the Hanzo. If you had a Lucio, you can get the Lucio to kind of boop the Brig away from you, and then you can high noon, or you can continue the high noon and you can let go and just kill everybody on the point. But I think it was just a lack of coordination, and your positioning was just really bad in general. Always high noon from high ground, aka high noon. Always be as high as possible, because if the higher you are, the harder it is for people to aim at you, the less CC that you have on you. But you can get sniped, but it depends on where the enemy is, of course, if they have a Widowmaker or not. But try to be as high ground as much as possible whenever you use your high noon. Okay, looks like they nanoed your hog instead of you, which is okay because you ended up not using the high noon anyway. They got the Zarya graph combo right there, wiping you guys out. And it looks like you and your Mercy are pretty much dead. There's no way you guys can escape this. But yeah, try to flank around and use different routes. Don't try to use the same route over and over and over again. If it's not working the first time, most likely than not, it's not going to work again the next time. Just change your routes. Change your routes as much as possible. Alright, you got 30 seconds to turn this around. Let's see how this goes. And not only that, if you had a Zarya, the Zarya could have bubbled you when you high noon, and that would have saved you from the bash. So Zarya is just really, really strong. It's just super strong against Brig and Brig rank.
Shut up.
Nice, you got your high noon again. Okay, that's good. Unless you're done. Imagine if you're on high ground there. If you're on high ground, you might have been able to get a little bit more vision. But it looks like you and your DPS ults were able to take him out. That's nice. Alright, you only need about 3 people to contest the point, but it looks like the enemy team is just pushing him. Nice flash! You're able to basically flash 3 people all for 1. Which is nice, Alright, you guys finally capped the point. Not a complete shutout, which is good. But right at this moment, you don't really need 5 people here. At this point, you should be taking space. Taking space meaning pushing forward, trying to scout out what the enemy team is doing, see where they're positioning, and try to figure out what your plan is next. You only need 3 people on the payload. Anything more than 3 people on the payload doesn't make it move faster. So what you can be doing is having 3 people on the payload and 3 people pushing forward. Your Genji should not be on the payload because he can get high ground and he can scout for the enemy or scout for your team and see where the enemy is. Your Ryan should be front because then he can have he has a shield to protect everybody else that's from behind, and you can just have a support go with him. Your Mercy. I would say your Mercy and your Reinhardt push up towards this front area, right? Try to take space, and what can happen is you can be on the payload. There's the Ana could be on the payload, and the Hog could be on the payload, right? And your Genji can go around, climbing around windows, seeing where the enemy is, figure out where they are, try to gain advantage, and just try to maybe even get a pick, right? Because the thing is, the Ana can shoot the Rhine if the Rhine is all the way ahead, right? She can also shoot the Mercy if the Mercy is all the way ahead, and the Mercy can actually keep up the Rhine. So it should be you, McCree, it should be McCree, Mercy, and Rhine up front. right? Or it could be Roadhog up front too, and you could be on the payload because you can shoot from far, right? But then basically people who have range should be on the payload, and those who have like a shield or have a heal or have a lot of ability should be pushing up forward to kind of see what's around on the enemy team. You do not need 6 people on the payload all the time. You don't always need 6 people on the payload. Because right now this extra space right here could have been stopped. They basically are able to walk for free. Sorry. They're basically able to walk for free and take this entire street area for free. If you guys were pushed up a little bit, you guys could have provided a little bit of pressure. And if you guys are starting to get pushed, just back up a little bit. Just back up and just keep backing up. It's completely fine. At least there's some pressure on them. They're not allowed to just sit there and just be like, okay, we're just gonna wait. And when you guys are pushing around the corner, and then they just basically kill you, you know. So try to take a little bit more space. Be a little bit, just be a little bit more aggressive, I would say, and just try to create that area where you guys can fight, instead of just giving them free area for you guys to kind of like to fight you guys.
Let me know when your shield's back up.
Okay, you pushed up a little bit far forward without your shield. Looks like your Reinhardt was actually on the payload when you guys got shattered, I think. Yeah, I saw the Rhine on the payload right there. So this is probably for whoever's playing the Rhine. If you ever jump on the payload as Rhine, you're basically giving the other Rhine a free shatter, because you can't block a shatter if you're on the payload, and the shatter goes through the payload, right? If everybody on your team is behind the payload in this area, and the Rhine is literally on this side, then when he shatters, it goes under and hits everybody on the opposite side of the payload, and that's good for this Rhine. But if you are Rhine and you're on this payload right here, right on top, your shield is only going to block, it's only going to block this area. It's not going to block anybody else on the ground. So if you know the enemy team has shatter, don't be on the payload as Ryan. Don't be on the payload as Ryan. Don't be on the payload. You cannot block shatter that way. There's no way you can block shatter against the Ryan that's on the ground. So your team basically got free shattered, and you're gonna get wiped here, it looks like. I would say don't use your ults, conserve your ults for the next fight, and try to see if you guys can recontest. You got 1 minute and 26 seconds. Not impossible. Not impossible. You guys can still do it. You do have Nano coming up, and you also do have Blade, I think. I think the last time you guys bladed was right here at this front. And the last time you guys nanoed, I remember, was when you got nanoed, or the Hog got nanoed when you were trying to get high noon. I can't really check to see right now if you guys have ult right now. But try to push shift to see, or tap to see if who has ults. And try to like coordinate. Try to coordinate your combos together. Okay, you guys pop a Valk. Safe for you to use your ult. Thing is, the payload is kind of in the way, but it looks like you're able to get the Reinhardt, which is really nice. They have no shield, allows you guys to aggress really hard. Okay, nice. Good. You guys need to take out the Zarya as much as possible. Zarya is the #1 target that you guys should be going for. Try to get rid of the grav combo as much as possible. You're pushed up a little bit too far though, just a teeny bit. I understand, like I said, you want to get rid of the Zarya as soon as possible, but right, you're a little bit far up. Your tank is right here. You got a main tank, or you have a a Winston there, and also you have a Rhine that's kind of like a little bit lagging behind. Yeah, I mean, you had your flash. You didn't know she had bubble. Not a horribly bad play. You were trying to take her out of the fight because of the fact you didn't want her to use grav, right? But you guys also wasted shatter, which is huge. You guys didn't get anybody with the shatter. You guys should have at least gotten the Zarya with the shatter to take her out, because she has grav right now. Yeah, that's a huge grav. Unfortunate. That's really hard to see, because the thing is that you guys were so close to getting the Zarya. There were a lot of times where you as a team could have got a Zarya, could have killed the Zarya. Shatter would have been able to take her out. That flash right here, boom, that would have actually done a lot of damage to her. Would have stunned her. You would have taken about half her health. The team would have came up and cleaned up. And right here, you died. Unfortunate. But right there, that shatter got nobody. If that shatter got Zarya, you guys would have been able to kill her, and you guys probably would have been able to contest this point, at least push it a little bit farther. But she got pushed to sleep, put to sleep. Bubbled as well, and it's just this grav combo. It's just it was just a bunch of misplays after misplay after misplay after misplay after misplay, and that just basically allowed the enemy team to just roll you guys. You guys got zero value out of your ults. Nobody, Well, I mean, at the end, you got a good high noon off on the Rhine, allowed you guys to push through. You got value out of your high noon, which is really, really good. But the thing is, though, you guys weren't able to clean up after that, which is unfortunate. What you want to do is after you get that high noon off, you want to make sure that you get rid of the next priority target, which is either the Hanzo or the Zarya. Mainly the Zarya because she's the one that's getting all the charge and she can provide the graphs. On this map especially, King's Row, Zarya should be the focus of the entire team. She should always be down as much as possible, and everybody should be trying their best to try to get her out. Overall, there were a lot of misplays by your team. A lot of misused ults, a lot of bad positioning, and overall, I just think everybody needed to play together as a team and have a cohesiveness, because nobody even said they were going to Nano, nobody said they were going to Blade, nobody said they were going to Shatter. Obviously, this is a different rank. I feel like communication is starting to become more and more important. I feel like when it comes to bronze, silver, and gold, communication is kind of important, but it's not needed. You can get to the point where you play a hero very well enough where you don't really need communication with your team. You don't really need cohesiveness. You can just basically frag out, and it doesn't matter as much. But I think platinum and diamond is when people start to need to combo and then you communicate with each other a little bit more. But yeah, try to get your team to communicate, like, okay, when are we going to do this? When are we going to use this? We should use Shatter next. We should Shatter combo with our Blade. We should Shatter combo with our Nano, Rhine, or whatever. All right, try to be a little bit more vocal, or try to get your team to be a little bit more vocal. But aside from that, I feel like you did okay as McCree. I feel like you might have been better swapping off to somebody that can combo with the Zarya. Maybe a Tracer, or even maybe a Junkrat would have been okay. Junkrat would have been okay, I think, even on attack, because the amount of spam that he does breaks down a lot of shields, deals a lot of damage against the Brig. And yeah, maybe you could try to see if you can flex a little bit more, make a little bit more changes, because you didn't make any changes at all on attack, even if it wasn't working. But yeah, focus on your positioning, I would say. Overall, together as you, try to focus a little bit more on your positioning, grab a little bit more high ground, especially when you're going to use your ult as High Noon. Even as Genji, use a little bit more high ground. Try to focus the backline a little bit more with your Genji blade. Try to keep in mind the tabs, or try to keep in mind the cooldowns of the enemy team when you're using your blade, especially when it comes to like bubble, flash, sleep, all that good stuff. But yeah, anyways, overall, a really rough game to watch. There's a lot of mistakes made, but it happens. It happens. You get these really, really bad games, right? But hopefully watching this video helped you out. And as well as the rest of your team, try to get, if you, it looks like you're 6 stacking. I think you might have been queuing with friends or maybe using LFG, but if anybody is on a team that you know and did you queue with, try to get them to watch it, you know, if you're going to be queuing with them again. It's better for everybody to kind of learn and be on the same page together as a team. But anyways, yeah, I just want to thank you, Ninjaman, for submitting this gameplay. It was a really good one, a lot of things to talk about. And I appreciate it. And yeah, if anybody else wants to submit their own gameplay for me to rip apart, please send the VOD or the Twitch link to dibzgaming@hotmail.com, and as well use Pursuit at the same time. It allows me to kind of figure out what the stats are, allows me to see the graphs, allows me to see who picked you off, who you got picked off at, who picked you off, who you picked off, and how effective you were on the enemy, who you were compared to the enemy team overall. It allows you to track your own stats as well as everybody else on the team to kind of figure out where I can improve, as well as whether or not I did well this game or whether or not I did horribly. But yeah, download Pursuit. It's in the description below, free for subscribers to download. But yeah, I appreciate all the support that you guys are giving me, and I just want to say thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.